I'm John with Real Action Paintball. Today I'm going to show you how to refill your CO2 cylinders with the CO2 tank. Right here we have a 50-pound CO2 tank, and when you use one of these, they should say a dip tube on them. Right here this says dip tube, or sometimes they might say siphon tube. And what that means is that there's a tube inside of this tank here which goes down to the bottom. And the reason that you have a tube inside which goes down to the bottom is because when you refill your cylinders, you want to get the CO2 liquid out of the tank instead of the gas, which will be on the top. Okay, to refill your CO2, you'll need to have a CO2 refill kit, and you'll need to have a seal. You just attach the kit onto your CO2 tank. Make sure that it's level. And then you want to tighten it with the wrench. So you want to make sure that this rod in here is not protruding. That means it's in the off position and the valve is all the way back. Right here I have a weight scale. We'll use this to measure the weight of the cylinders. Okay, so first we're going to take the weight of an empty bottle. So first thing you want to do is you want to turn on your scale. You want to tear it to 0, and you want to make sure that the unit of measurement is set to ounce. So right here we have an empty 12-ounce cylinder, and it has a weight of let's see, 30 ounces, approximately 30 ounces. So what you want to do is you want to write that down on a chart for yourself so that you know that the base weight for your cylinder empty is 30 ounces. Okay, the reason you want to keep a chart for different sizes and types is because there's different tanks, and this is an aluminum tank which will weigh less than the steel tank. So you want to make sure that you're not overfilling your tank, and you just want to know where your base weights are just to be safe. So keep a chart of different sizes and types. Also, you want to make sure that before you fill up your tank, you want to make sure that you're using a tank that has been hydro tested. Your tank should be hydro tested within 5 years of use. Right here we have a hydro test date, which says a hydro test before April of 2011. Okay, when you begin to refill your cylinder, you want to make sure that you're wearing safety glasses. Also, what you're going to do is you're going to attach the ASA adapter, and you want to make sure that it's in the off position, which means that it's unscrewed and the rod inside is not protruding. Okay, to fill up the cylinder, you want to make sure that you have the main valve in the off position to start. You want to make sure that the cutoff valve is in the off position, and the purge valve is also in the off position. Then you want to turn the ASA adapter into the on position by tightening it, turning it clockwise. You want to hang your cylinder, and when we fill it up this time, we're not going to get a full fill because of the temperature of the two cylinders. Basically, these cylinders are both at room temperature, so since air travels from high pressure to low pressure, you will not be able to get a full fill in this tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill the tank up to its full capacity at the time, and then we're going to release the air so that the temperature decreases. And then we're going to refill it so that this cylinder will then be cooler than the tank, and then we'll be able to get an optimal fill. So here we go, we have the unit set up, we have it tared to 0, and right now the container is 29, the cylinder is 29.2 ounces empty. So we're going to fill it up. So we're going to open the main valve, then we're going to open the cutoff valve, which is going to allow the CO2 to enter the cylinder. And then there it goes, up to 36.6, 37, 37.3. So right now the pressure is balanced, and 37.7 is the maximum capacity that you can have in this tank at this time at room temperature. So we have approximately 8 ounces inside of this cylinder. So we'll close the cutoff valve, and right now, if we want to get maximum capacity, what we need to do is bleed or purge the CO2 out of the cylinder to create a cooler temperature. So we open the bleed valve. And what that does is that allows all the CO2 out of the cylinder. Okay, now you can see there's actually frost on the cylinder here. And this time when we go to refill, we're going to be able to get an optimal full capacity fill with our cylinder. So our aim is going to be approximately, we'll do 11 ounces because we want to keep a 1 ounce difference between maximum capacity. And the reason being is because if you fill your container to maximum capacity and then you travel to a higher altitude or a warmer environment, there's a chance that the pressure will increase inside of the cylinder, and then you could either your burst disc will break and then you'll have to replace that. It'll be expensive, and there's also a chance of injury. So just to be cautious, we're going to keep a 1 ounce difference between maximum capacity. So our target will be 41 ounces. On, tear. Okay, 29.9, and here we go. So I'm going to open the cutoff valve once again. And we have too much, so we will purge the CO2. Okay, so there we are. We have 41 ounces. And this is the closest to capacity that you can get with this method. It's not the most efficient method, but if this is what you have to work with, this is as close to full capacity as you can get.